Hello guys, and welcome to another edition of Rage Against the Dice. Once again, we're doing a brush review, so we're carrying on with this. We are. Now these are the cheapest brushes that we've had so far. They were from Amazon, and they're called Gadget Brilliant Style 10 brush set. And I'll leave the link in the description below. They only cost £4.27 with free delivery. Usually it's £4.99, but they've been on sale, 72p off for about the last month or so. They did take a little longer to come than some of the others that I've ordered. I ordered them on the Friday and they came the Thursday afterwards, so it was just under a week. I'm going to be honest, I don't have high hopes. They're very soft though, but I feel like they're probably, even though they say they are for acrylic, they feel more like they'd be for watercolours and such, but there's only one way to test them out, and that's to actually test them out. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this bad boy right here, which is Mornfang Brown. Now, I do apologise. It's still the pandemic. We've still got life going on in the background, so you'll hear children playing Lego on the PS4, you'll hear the washer. Yeah, sadly there's no way around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys closer to the table, and we're going to start painting this, which is a Carnivale Strigoi model, and he's one of my favourites. So back in a second guys, and I'll see you at the... So here we are, back at the table. I've already mixed up some Mornfang on my palette. And let's try this. So these brushes are numbered, but the number doesn't seem to correlate to anything, because the number 5 one is smaller than the number 3, etc, etc. So we're just going to ignore them and we're just going to use them. So I'm using what they call a number 4, I believe. No, a number 5, sorry. My first impression, which of course potentially won't be my last impression, but it certainly sounds, they feel very cheap. Now they are cheap, I know. Somebody will be writing in the comments already, they are cheap. But they feel it. And some brushes do, some brushes don't. I've bought really expensive brushes that felt really cheap. However, from an actual working point of view, whoa, is that blurry? Sorry guys, I wasn't looking through the viewfinder on this occasion, because it's actually really hard to look through the viewfinder in paint, so I'm trying to get out of the habit of doing it, but I still need to glance over just to check it's in focus. I've actually been looking, you'll be happy to hear this, I've been looking online for new cameraing equipment, so once all this pandemic-y business is over and people are back to works and things like that, I may have to invest in a new camera, so you guys can look forward to that hopefully. But yeah, because I know obviously a number of other YouTubers watch this channel, what setup are you guys using at the moment for when you're doing painting tutorials and things, or for showing off the finer details on models? If you can actually drop me a message in the comments and let me know, so I can potentially look at that myself. So first coat was done with this brush, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly wash this brush, and I don't mean with like brush soaps or anything like that, I mean just rinse my brush and then see how it holds its point. So you guys stay there and randomly look at that guy. I'll do. So that wasn't too bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to use this brush, which is the number 3 brush, which looks about the same bristle-wise as the number 5, to give it its second coat and just see how that does. So back in a... So guys, this is a different brush, and I'm just going to try and give it a second coat. Now I'm actually honestly surprised in how good these bristles are. A, because it was ridiculously cheap. B, because the reviews on them, although good, a lot of them said that a lot of the reviews were only reviewing them for painting on canvas and paper and things like that. There was no one who'd said, oh, I've used them for miniature painting, which is always a bit dubious, because obviously different brushes are good for different things. But they move fine, they hold their points. Again, holding their point the first time you use them isn't, you know, a sole indicator. And I mean, just like all the others, I will full on put these guys through the ringer. We've got one more brush review after this, and then I'm going to do another recap. So by then you'll have had 8 sets of brushes, I think. And I'll give you a recap on how the first few sets are doing, as well as how these guys are coping. Now, what I'm going to do next is, once this one dries, I'm going to use this bigger brush here, which they call a 5 of 8. To apply a wash to this. Now, because these are resin models and because they're more of a truer scale, I will be watering this wash down, even though quite often I don't because I'm lazy. With Carnivale models, I always water my washes and things down with them. They're really, really highly detailed, but they do lose their detail very, very quickly as if your paints aren't aren't thin. So whatever you normally would do, if you're going to be painting Carnivale models, water your paints down. So I'm going to wait for this to dry because it's resin, so I can't use a hairdryer or anything to speed up that process, which is another thing I do because I'm really lazy. So keeping like a £5 travel hairdryer down by your painting desk is not a bad idea. But yeah, we'll let this dry and then we'll try one of these other brushes, and then I'll give you a quick recap of where I'm at with regards to it. Hopefully a little more concise than the last couple, because they've been mid-range brushes with mid-range. So here we go, guys, we're back. Now, I will just stress that this is a gorgeous model. I absolutely adore Carnivale. It's one of my favourite games, and I love the sculpts of it. I mean, everything about it really appeals to me, from the setting to, you know, the models themselves to the rules for the game. It all plays really, really well. And obviously we're doing a brush review, but if you were thinking of checking out a new game, once all this pandemic business is over and you think I need something new, something to try, you know, give Carnivale a look. You can see all the stat cards for the models online, so you can check it out. And the rules, I think there's a number of... Oh, that was a bit blurry, sorry guys. There's a lot of how to plays online that you could check out. I don't think the rulebook's got... Well, in fact, I know it hasn't. I don't know why I'm saying I don't think. It hasn't got a free PDF yet. Or a PDF you pay for. I do think a PDF would be good because I love my book, but I really don't want it to get ruined. But yeah, so consider checking Carnivale out. So let's have a look. That was one of the bigger brushes, as you saw. Seems okay. Now, what I did on the robe for my other priest, because I've painted one previously, is I gave the wash, I gave the brown wash, and then I gave a black wash while the brown was still wet. So I'll try one of the other brushes for that. And this one's kind of a a tapered brush, and they call it a number 8, which means absolutely nothing because these brushes are numbered abysmally. One thing I would suggest as well, if you're painting Carnivale models, is dry brushing does not seem to work on them at all. Or for me, you know, your results may vary, but I don't find the models, because of the detail and the intricacy of the sculpt and the sizings and things, I don't find dry brushing works on them. Now I might give this a light, very, very light dusting of Mon Fang again before I go into the proper highlights and things, but obviously we're not actually perving on the model, although it is a lovely model, as I said. So good. I've got 2 of said sculpt. But we're just checking out these brushes. So, what do I think of said brushes? Let's get them back. Well, you get 10 in a set. You get a lot of varying sizes. If nothing else, a couple of these big ones will be good for sceneries and stuff like that. Some of the other ones will be good for base coating. So for the price of them, I don't honestly think you can go wrong, to be honest. We'll go in the cup there now. So what, just under £5. It took just under a week to get delivered. Are they like worlds breaking? No, they're not. Definitely not, but they are good. They're good brushes. I would say if you're looking for a really cheap brush, then they're the brushes for yourself. Of all the ones I've reviewed so far, they're probably the best cheap range one. Again, I wouldn't say if you've got unlimited cash and you're just looking for the best brushes possible, they're not going to be the brushes for you. But if you're looking for brushes on a budget, they're not terrible. Which I guess, praise indeed, not terrible. But no, I think that they're nice enough brushes. One thing I would say is, obviously, a week down the line, 2 weeks down the line, I may have a very different opinion. That's quite often the case, of course, in the situation of brushes. Now, these brushes that I bought, I think I reviewed them last week or the week before. Most of them have turned out to actually be surprisingly good, so they're better than I first thought. 1 or 2 of them aren't, as in from that set. 1 or 2 of the brushes that came in it aren't brilliant. But no, I think these are nice little brushes. The next set that we've got coming up, again, is a cheaper set. And I think I paid around about £5 or so for them. Let me quickly double check while you guys are here. Yeah, so these should have been £7, but they've been on sale for God knows how long, for £5. And this is a set of 10 as well. And they look very similar to those ones that I've just got, but they've got a darker handle. And the reviews on them weren't as good. As you can see, most of the brushes in the cheaper ranges that you're going to find are going to be acrylic, they're going to be nylon, not sable or anything like that. So we've already looked at one that was actual sable. The rest were all, nylon or like a synthetic. So yeah, they're okay. They're good enough. It doesn't come with a dry brush. You've got some big flat brushes, but they're not dry brushes as such, so I wouldn't suggest using them for that until they've got a bit more battered. The fine detail ones I'll be able to let you know once I've used them a bit. But I think, guys, I'm going to crack on with this and leave you to it. I won't keep you any longer, so... Well, I will. I'm going to obviously do the self-promotion at the end. And I like to do my self-promotion at the end because it means you've watched the video. If you've watched the video, you're more likely to do the self-promotion-y stuff I say. So give it a like, give it a subscribe, share it with people who might be interested. If you've got a new camera setup or you've got a good camera setup, let me know what you're using so I can maybe look into it myself. Have you tried these brushes? Are you going to try these brushes on the back of my very review? What have you thought of the brush reviews so far, going sort of previous ones to where we're going in the future? I think after this next one, I'm going to stop doing the cheaper brushes, and I think I might pick up a couple of more expensive sets just to show you the difference. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I apologise for the house going on in the background, but pandemic is as pandemic does. And yeah, hopefully you're staying safe, you're washing your hands. A lot of you might be back at work now, and if you are, hopefully that's going okay for you guys. And as always, pray the dice gods and hope they smile upon you. Take care, guys. Thank you so much for watching.